You know, it's not as big of a deal in a group stage scenario, but here we go, guys. The winner of this going to take a little bit more momentum, and herO might take a 2-0 lead in the round of 32.
Up here in the top right in the red, he just crushed his opponents to win game number 1. It is herO.
Very focused. His opponent vertically spawned, thankfully for him. In blue, it's Bbyong. Maybe he can pull the boys.
Yeah. Maybe we see a mix-up here. It is a big map. Maybe go CC first, try to get ahead that way. Just set up 3 bases and possibly go for a boys push.
Yeah, I think a Reaper expand is warranted on this map as well. I think just playing this one, quote-unquote, standard is the way to go. Scout him out, see what he's up to, take your third base. It's pretty easy to take on this map as a Terran. Just kind of slide into that mid-game without a problem.
Just slide into that mid-game.
Yeah.
So you do see the racks coming down.
Just like skate into it, man. Roll into it. Reaper jump into it, man.
That you can do, actually.
Yeah. I think that's what he's going to do. Well, that's a pretty quick gas, though. Let's see how he decides to play this one out. I worry, man, if he decides to do this drop play again. herO just seems to have no concerns with that whatsoever. He's just absolutely flawless in his defense. He, like, left nothing to be desired.
Yeah.
He, like, pulled the probes before, which at first I thought was, like, an overreaction, but then I realized...
Yeah, when he saw the Marines
fine.
in the middle of the map, he's like, oh, I know exactly what this is. I just get all my probes together.
His micro against the bunkering, too. His Stalkers all went into the red, but he was like, no, bunker's finished, so what?
Yeah. Reaper comes out here.
Okay, thankfully. I was really concerned we were about to maybe see another factory. Obviously, he didn't do the gas first build, but could have still gone for a factory. So just going to expand with the Reaper. Wants to scout out those pylons. Wants to see if herO's hiding a pylon anywhere.
Oh, is he going to get there in time?
Well, not to...
No, it doesn't look like it.
Not to block the Nexus. Nope.
Yeah. But he will be happy at least to see that herO is not cross-spawns with this scout. You will see the Chrono Boost here on the Mothership Core. Trying to get that out as early as possible. It's good against holding off the Reaper, of course.
He saw the first 2 pylons, didn't see the third one. But it's going to be really easy to go and scout that if he decides to commit to it. He's keeping the Reaper at home to deny scouts first, though. And the thing about not showing the Reaper, too, when your opponent doesn't scout, is that your opponent might be thinking, oh, what if it's the drop again? I didn't see a Reaper. I don't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So if you show the Reaper, then your opponent knows, oh, okay, it's just an expand. I don't have to freak out. I don't have to overreact here. So that third pylon is in a good spot for Oracles. There's a high chance we'll see that, but no, it's a Twilight Council.
I wonder what this could be for. You know, it's probably going to be for Blink, but it could be the aggressive style or just that defensive style while you tech up to Colossi. You know, there's a bit of a bigger map.
Yeah. Could even be, you know, like an all-in. It could even be a rush to Storm Drop, but probably not. He doesn't have a Robo, and nobody ever does that.
Unfortunately. No.
Unfortunately. But I think it's going to be, in the fake PvT meta, I think it's just going to be Blink Pressure. We've come to this point where it's like all about the fake outs in this matchup. And notice the Reaper is checking like super diligently for any possible proxy Dark Shrine, proxy Stargate, any pylons. He's checked the entire bottom left of the map.
Yeah. I like it. I mean, it's harder to get into the main base on this map than, let's say, King Sejong Station. So instead of trying to, you know, suicide your Reaper to get in and get that scouting information, you know, why don't just check one corner of the map first? You know, it's a big map, and go check that corner first, and then go and pressure at the front. So this is exactly what he's going to do.
By the way, we saw this Hellion build in Pro League and it didn't work at all, but this time he actually gets into the main base. And the Reaper is actually coming here to do some extra damage, so they're going to be already a little bit hurt, and Marines run into the natural, and herO's having a lot more difficulty defending this time. 7 probes already killed.
Yeah, I feel like he has to defend more here at the natural, where those Marines are getting a huge amount of kills. Already 10 probes going down.
Is he going to get 11th one?
Nope.
But, yeah, that was really good micro. Now I start to understand that the Hellion build that we saw before. He also scouts the Twilight Council with this. Gets a siege tank back at home just for safety. And this is cool. You know, I like this new place we're in TVP where people are making siege tanks occasionally. This would have never happened in Wings of Liberty with siege tank research because it just takes too long to research that. It's expensive.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. But if you could just pop a siege tank out and switch that, and even get a second siege tank maybe, it makes for a cool defense.
We're actually going to see DT drops here. Already the Warp Prism is out. The Dark Shrine here, the D Shrine, coming in as well.
Oh, yeah, indeed.
But already, he saw that Twilight Council, like you were saying, so he's just going to put up a safe missile turret at the front and save some scan energy possibly for a little bit later. Wait for that timing on the DTs. Defend in the main as well, just in case.
Bbyong pretty heavily supply blocked here, actually. Just one thing to note. He doesn't even have a second depot on the way, so as soon as that first one finishes, he's going to be almost supply blocked again. And now makes 2 more depots. Just something to point out because this sort of thing can add up. Okay. Dark Shrine almost done. Said that a little bit weirdly, I'm sorry.
The Dark Shrine. It's about to finish.
And he's got Blink, so he's going to attack at the front with the Stalkers at the same time. This is going to force some insane multitasking at Bbyong, and that's where these siege tanks come in. Almost kills a Stalker there, actually.
It's hard to micro against a tank. It's just going to shoot you. I guess
just going to shoot you, man.
The most micro you can do is trying to blink onto the tank, but I mean, there's a lot of tanks back there as well as bio to support. So here we go. We got 2 DTs in the drop.
And the scariest thing about this drop is one DT has a scythe and the other one has a sickle, man. Here we go. He's got both types, man. With good repair on this bunker, but a lot of SCVs already going down. He can actually target down Stim. That's actually combat shields, but he can target down combat shields too.
Ooh, not gonna get it though. Will get the DTs away though and force another scan.
Yeah, he actually kills the Observer, but not the DTs. He actually warps in a 3rd and 4th DT, and they're going to all just be split here. If he had actually killed combat shields, the DTs could have been even more useful for longer because of how much damage they do to, vanilla Marines. Can one-shot those.
Really
actually might
nice
even do
DT
it.
micro here.
Drops on top of the siege tank, forcing that other siege tank to help kill it. Whoa, this micro's out of control, man.
The thing is that Bbyong played this so smartly because he saved up so many scans. He had 3 scans there for the defense, and 3 DTs, they do get a decent amount of damage here. But again, he does hold it off.
And he never falters on his bunker micro as well. He's always got those repairs. Force another scan. He's going to save it. Whoa.
Oh, my God.
Somebody call Artosis.
Now this is beginning to get a bit expensive.
So this DT drop has been just, I mean, how many workers did he kill? I'm actually going to check this in total. 8? Yeah. That's pretty.
Yeah, he also supply blocked Bbyong a lot. I think he got like 2 supply depots.
Still supply blocked. He's been supply blocked for so long this game. Look at that. He made depots, but then he's like already supply blocked again.
Well, DTs are scary, man. They can get into your head.
Okay. Big blink here. Trying to target down.
And cuts some shells.
Gets it. And by gets it, I mean like kills it and stops it from happening. Yeah. He doesn't get that shells. He gets the snipe. Well, 3rd base is up. Bbyong in a rough spot here. Forces a huge stim with that Stalker army. He's going to lose a Stalker.
No concussive shells here.
Actually, I mean, it's like throwing away a Stalker for like a blast of AoE damage to that army. It's basically what that trade is, and I think it's perfectly fine. First medevacs are just now out to start healing, so a lot of this army is going to be weaker for the attack on the 3rd base where there are already 2 Colossi. Range is going to finish, and so is 1-1.
Immortal in this mix as well. Pretty early Nexus cannon coming down here. He knows he needs to get this away from him as soon as possible. Blink back as well. Nice micro here. And now with the Colossi joining in, should be just fine with the tanks in the back.
Yep, tanks in the back do get blinked on here. Yeah, and they're doing a ton of damage, actually. Those siege tanks are making this push work. That actually just works. I didn't realize he made like 5 siege tanks with this. That warp prism is in an awkward spot. You don't want to be there, man. Get out of there, Warpy.
It's like flying around with the observer. It's like, no, you're not invisible.
Can I fly around here and have fun too? No. Well, he holds, which is the important part, but he lost his expensive units. He lost his Colossi. He lost a lot of his Stalkers as well, which are obviously much more expensive than Zealots. And they're going to be pretty important in the defense of this next attack that comes in here, forcing that second Nexus Cannon. The Immortal, worth its weight in minerals, gets tanking those shots for a little bit.
Just get taken down, though.
He's actually just made this into a siege tank biocomp. He's not even stopping. This wasn't even for like a specific push. He's just decided that's how he wants to play this matchup on this map, is actually adding siege tanks into his comp. It looks like a Wings of Liberty TVZ comp, actually, with all the siege tanks he's adding. He just keeps on making. He might want to even consider getting +1 for his siege tanks when that armory finishes. Speaking of that armory, it's super late, and he's missing a ton of time on those upgrades, whereas herO already has 2-2 almost complete.
Yep, he's consistently chrono boosting those out as soon as possible, as soon as the chrono boosts do end. Just trying to get out those upgrades, because once this army that's very expensive goes up to 2-2, it's going to be that much better. But nice micro here out of Bbyong, able to snipe some units, even getting that observer as well. He's got those tanks on the high ground here to just be even more annoying.
Well, I mean, his base is up, but it's not mining, so this is giving Bbyong a bit of an edge in the economy. All right, that was a bit overzealous. So he's like, I'll kill this tank with the mothership core. He's actually going to almost lose it for that. And here comes a big drop in the main. 2 Mirage, 4 Marines.
And what's he got here?
Nothing so far. Going to have to warp in some units to defend this, actually. And here he goes. He's going to try to break this position finally. So many siege tanks very well split. But with that drop being away, this army is just a bit too flimsy.
Yep. Very smart play here by herO. Knew some of those units were away. And even though he will take 10 probes and damage, actually, he totally routes this army and will send it back home.
And it's so important because he finally now can use his third base properly. He was losing so much mining time before. And he needs that gas. I don't know about committing to this attack. Just trade with some of the SCVs with those Zealots. Pick off some Vikings, then blink out. Ooh, he could get 2 more here if he's really careful, but he's losing a lot of Stalkers for that. Force another big stim.
The boys are pulled here for a very long time. Is he just going to go on a huge counterattack? No. Pulls him very, very far out, all the way to the watchtower.
herO is in such a great spot now, Val. I mean, he's got 3 bases up, fully secured, but that's not the important part because he lost a lot of mining there. But the important part, he was able to squeeze out these upgrades so far ahead. He's going to have 3-3 so fast, and he also killed so many of those Vikings that even though he traded some of his Colossi earlier, he's now got 4 Colossi to 1 Viking. That's too many Colossi for Bbyong to handle right now in a straight-up fight.
Even blink microing to pick off a Marauder here. Where are the Vikings? Like you said, there are none. There's 1. It did a shot against the Mothership Core, and now it's down. So these Colossi just gained so much power. They've got 2-2. They're just wrecking this army right now.
herO needs to be careful about fighting like this because he didn't have any buffer for those Colossi, so they do a lot of damage, but those Bioforces...
5 of them.
Yeah, those Bioforces could just get in there on top of them if they don't have any buffer, but he's almost got enough Colossi to where he could just fight with Colossi alone. No Stalkers, no Zealots, no Sentries.
Almost.
Almost. But that Mothership Core with like 1 health left has enough energy for a Time Warp now, so... Oh god, he's going to actually warp in units here to force the army back, and he's going to smash that 4th base. This is going to be so nasty. Still a lot of siege tanks in this comp, but charge is done. He fights before 3-3. That Time Warp is going to save his Colossus life here.
Wow. That Time Warp, man. He doesn't have much defense here, though. Much, support here for the Colossi, like you were saying, and now the Marauder's pushing forward, able to snipe another one. Bbyong is hanging on.
He needs more buffer. I actually think less Stalkers and more Zealots. This is a cute move to actually come over here and start picking off these SCVs and force a lift on the CC, perhaps. can't fight this with this many Colossi here with no Vikings.
Oh, +3/+3.
Oh, God. It's done.
He's got Archons in the mix now.
Bbyong is constantly ahead in supply, but his supply is just not as efficient. He's missing the upgrades. And he's got siege tanks, which have been doing a lot for him, actually. I'm actually kind of liking it, but I mean, these Archons are just going to tank up here at the front. They're not armored units, so they don't take extra damage from those siege tanks. They can do a lot of splash. This is an awkward spot, though. Great positioning here by Bbyong. And he's just going to try to stim his way around. Those DTs, actually, he hasn't realized that they're there. They're doing a lot of extra damage.
Yep, that's something you can do. Just mix him in this fight. And now there's no more bio left except the reinforcements here. Reinforcements are able to take down 2 Colossi, so they're pretty good reinforcements. But again, herO does win that fight just barely. And now the 3rd base is mining, or rather the 4th base here.
Well, this base is actually going to go down, in fact. Look at this. Bbyong scans. He's like, wow, you don't even have a 4th. You're doing this all off 3. And you were just so patient against my constant siege tank pushing across the map. And your upgrades are so ahead of mine.
Wow.
That's
really nice micro there. The last shot is able to take down that tank.
That's why Bbyong had so much success with his initial pushing, was because herO was investing all of his resources into this massive amount of upgrades. He made so many Colossi. He didn't stop for a second. He had constant Colossi production this entire game, and is still doing so. And that's very expensive. And was able to get all of his upgrades out. So his gateway count, or his gateway unit count suffered, which is why we often saw those fights where he didn't have a lot of gateway units to actually support his Colossi. But now he's got that buffer. Only 1 Colossus with this army, a second one coming to join in here. And this might be the last fight of the game. Bbyong struggling to hold on here. Does actually push this back, but he's lost so many Harvesters.
Yeah, the Colossus in the back wasn't shooting the right units for a long time here, but I think it's just too many heavily upgraded Protoss units here, and I think this is just going to topple the game here.
Yep. That upgrade advantage, GG. That upgrade advantage was what we actually saw in that fight. Bbyong had like the better position and more units, and if they were on even upgrades, he would have won that fight, but herO pushes through. Very well played here.
Yeah, it takes a big, deep breath after that one. Pretty stressful game for him there. You know, I like the siege tank comp, kind of, especially in those positions, because he was able to get on the high ground and stop